These guys are getting started.
It is vampires. It is mono black vamps.
All right. Prediction going up again. How many counter spells will be cast this game? 0 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9 plus.
Dude, TJ's got
It's up.
counter spells and
Predict
already.
if you want to predict.
I'm going to.
This is round 3. I got to update stream title.
I'm betting every. No, we'll just bet. We'll bet this amount.
Remember, once again, these are game by game predictions. They are not for the entire series as a whole. This matchup will be a little bit weird because Baba told us that he plays 3 main board go blanks.
Wait, he said it was main board? I thought he said sideboard.
He said main board.
Well, let's see if he does it here and plays around with sensor. I can't tell what's in his hand. There's like a kind of a glare on the cards. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. If that's
That land's going to come in tapped.
That is true. So he read his card, but he still has basic swamp. Oh, he's got non-matching basics.
He says it's for the tilt factor because he's playing vampires. So
TJ's going to 18, and he's going to go up to 22 because Thoughtseize as well.
So we're going to be to 18. 18? Or no, he should be at 20. That has lifelink, right?
22. That's a 2-3, sir.
He just Thoughtseized.
Oh, yeah, but he goes back down. Yeah. So 20. Sorry, I was helping her adjust the life totals.
So we're
Psycho Sensor.
20 to 18. That's why Baba didn't move his life total, because he's like, I'm going to hit you, and then I'm going to Thoughtseize you. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
game 2, take 2.
So TJ is down counterspells right now. I don't think he has. Oh, no, he's got Absorbs in hand, so never mind.
Yeah, he's got 2. He got 2 absorbs and a portable hole.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't cast.
Here it comes. Counterspell number 1.
TJ gains 3 life up to
21, back down to 19.
Yep.
And Baba goes up to 22. Counterspell number 1.
Oh, he tops Dovin's veto, dude. Let's go. Dude, TJ is literally my hero. Let's freaking go.
All right, so we clearly got bias in the booth.
No, I'm just here to win my prediction. I don't really care who wins as long as TJ casts 3
Dovin's veto
counterspells.
against a creature deck. You're right, man. I'd be
No,
happy
you got
about
Thorin.
that. Oh, of course, right on cue, dude.
Dude. Let's go, baby.
Right on cue.
Let's go. Oh, he absorbs it. What's he doing?
If you go out there right now and you try to tell Sarah,
Yeah, I'm not telling the king how to cast his counter spells, dude.
you gonna go out there and tell the king how to play his match.
Well, maybe he did it so when he plays his big to pair, he just has to.
Well, he also gets to hold it up here.
Yeah, which just makes sense.
Yeah, not blue white. The person playing blue white is my hero. Yeah, obviously.
Firing up High of the Eye Tyrant. That's actually a pretty good play from Balbo.
I believe it's a 3/2, correct?
He also gets to exile something from the graveyard. I don't know if that's a May or not, but he's gonna read it right now. So,
Man, we got people reading their own cards today, huh?
to be fair, I don't think Balbo's played Pioneer in a very hot minute. So
He says pick one at random. Could matter if you think TJ might be playing Diggs. I do not believe he is.
he is not.
It
It could matter when it's if you cast Memory Deluge and you can fill that one.
That's more or less where we're at. So portable hole is going to finally take care of this creature. Your life total is not correct.
Yeah. He confused me.
TJ is at 20.
Yeah,
Balbo's at 24.
Balbo has
Dice up there, so okay.
Does he just
Yeah.
fire up 2 Mutabolts here and swing them? Or did he just play that Mutable? I didn't see.
I think he just played one, but he can corrupt a Hive Tyrant.
And can he activate the Mutable? Or is it 2 to... It's 2 to activate Mutable.
It is 1.
Oh, it's 1? Ooh, kind of big.
So here comes 5 more damage.
Gets to exile another card. TJ's going to go to 15. And he says, get the other Absorb.
He's flying around Snapcaster Mage.
Let's go. He's going to scry for TJ. He's going to put the big Teferi on top.
It very makes sense. He knows it's a good target for Walber to have to remove.
TJ has quite a few lands. But I think next turn Bobo can... Is it 4 to activate the Hive? Yeah. So he can't activate both Mutabolts unless he plays another land.
I don't even know if this is mono black vampires. I think it's just mono black land attack.
He showed me a vampire, and I was like, is this like this? And I pointed out the vampire part on the card, and he goes, yeah. Because he is playing Sorin, and Sorin is a vampire card.
Well, Mutavault's also technically vampires as well.
Yeah, because it has like the thing that says it's all creature types, right?
All creature types. So, like, for example, if Babo does play a Lord, it will pump the Mutavault as well.
Yeah. I guess it's just kind of more important for like the Sorin. I think Sorin's like, if you control a vampire, you get to bolt something and gain 3 life or something ridiculous like that.
He is in pretty weird spot where he's got a lot of lands, a veto, and kind of the same spot we actually saw earlier when Connor could have crewed up the hall
Yeah.
and just attacked. Like, we're seeing kind of the same scenario happening right now.
TJ is going to scry. He is looking for something. Deluge is pretty okay.
Lose is better than bad.
Yeah, that is true.
He did down to 10. Draws to lose.
So
Big to fairy coming down.
So he can cast this to parry and plus it up to be able to cast Deluge. Ooh, Verdict. Dang, that's pretty bad against lands right now.
Yeah, Verdict's not the optimal draw in this particular instance, but Verdict will probably be good in other situations. Did I get everything? Oh, I need to put...
So the question is here is if Bob fires these things up. Ooh, Thoughtseeds. Pretty sure you veto this, right? Taking probably Deluge. I was wishing TJ would counter it. That would be his 3rd counter spell. Takes Verdict. Interesting.
Verdict in this particular spot, I feel like it's got to be the worst grab.
Yeah, I feel like that's the worst thing that you could hit there.
Especially because of like how you're doing it. There's no way to instant speed do it unless TJ randomly comes out of the corner and casts Quicken.
Is Quicken legal in Pioneer?
Quicken is technically legal in Pioneer.
That's kind of funny. Casting Deluge. That is probably what I personally would have taken.
Yeah, because
then he can't flash it back. And if you don't have like any non-creature spells, you're obviously not worried about Devin's veto.
oh, Censor and Absorb in 2 lands, not looking incredible.
So depending on where these are going, TJ can live an extra turn with the Absorb, but he's probably just gonna cycle the sense. Oh, he hit the Fairy. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was more or less saying earlier. It's like the
Cycle the Censor. I could not see what that draw was. A Field of Ruin. That's actually a really good draw.
I think he has 2 Field of Ruins in his hand.
Because Field is now a good target, but like Bobo also has 3 creature lands.
Yeah,
now
but
he can
like
fire
getting
all
rid of the
3
one that has Menace makes like a lot of sense.
Especially because it can hit.
Well, I don't know.
Deluge.
You think? Because
No, it hits Deluge. I
Well-
think you get that one.
well, it's weird, right? Because one takes a massive amount more mana to activate,
That is true. So yeah, he's gonna get.
but he's gonna get it because, like you said before, the Deluge that might come up later.
He can cast it right now. He can still cast it this turn.
Yeah, because he gets a land there.
Yeah.
So 4/7. Yeah.
So now he can be able to flash the Deluge back. So I agree with that play. That makes sense. Because he's just gonna take the 4. Because they are 2/2s, right? Yeah, they have to be. Because that's what he's been taking every time. I'm gonna put TJ to 6. And TJ goes
Deluge.
flashback Deluge.
We've seen TJ as of recently in Modern win it 1 life. He's not afraid to play there.
Yeah, no. Well, especially now that he's probably gonna grab it. No, he's not gonna grab the Absorb. Because he has an Absorb in hand right now. Question is he like will ever be able to cast it? Because right now TJ's on a 2.
Well, he's got another field, I believe, in hand.
If he has another field, that's he also just has 2
Wandering Emperors, 2 of them.
and he has
This game is about to get actually
and he has
incredibly
a
interesting.
Yeah.
The only problem for TJ is that because of the way that Bobo has played this game, or Robert, sorry, Robert's going to have a lot of cards in hand. Because he hasn't done anything. He's been playing lands and activating his lands to hit him.
3 cards. He's just got more.
Unless, well, he's kind of been flooding, I guess. So, like, there's also
4,
that.
6, 8, 10.
But normally in these situations,
TJ
when
has
you're
10
able to
too.
be aggressive with your lands It's kind of like the same thing that Ren 6 provides in a sense that like
You just
I'm
get to
playing the
draw
same land,
cards.
so I just keep all the spells in my hand.
Yeah, you just get to keep literally piling them up.
Realistically, it could be Bobo having 2 less lands here and just having 5 spells in his hand to deal with stuff. The only issue for him is like, are these fatal pushes, are these removal spells against blue-white that's you're not going to have that great of targets?
Yeah.
Or
I
are
think
they
that's
like
Soren in Bobo's hand?
So I think I'm gonna go for the play that you talked. These are all vampires, so this would draw 3, he would lose 3, but it's gonna get absorbed. TJ's gonna go up to 9.
And that's the third counterspell cast.
That's third. The Big Teferi will actually survive this combat if Bobo goes
feel like
after it.
I feel like you have to go face here.
Wandering Emperor comes in. I'm curious if he's not gonna make it 2/2 because it trades effectively. But he's gonna exile instead, gain 2 more life,
TJ
take
up to 11.
2. Well, he goes back down 2.
Oh, yeah, and then takes 2. Yes, it stays in mind. Correct. Oh, that's a March too, dude. So it looks like TJ locked this game out. He's just gonna main.
The control special, get down to 3 and then say, nope, I'm okay. And this all came back on the play that won this game for TJ, if he does truly get it, which we believe he's going to, was actually being able to Field of Ruin and then Memory Deluge and get like the Wandering Emperor he needed, and then I believe he just grabbed 2 of them, right?
I think he did grab 2 Wandering Emperors there.
And I think that's why he was so aggressive with that one on the terms of down ticking it and exiling and then making a 1/1 because he just has another one.
Yeah.
He also has another Field of Ruin in play, so Balder's going to have to start casting actual spells from his hand.
But he only has 2, so it is not looking too hot. I think TJ's got a grip of 5 right now, which is another Emperor, a March, a Dovin's Veto, and like a land. And he has a Big Teferi in play with a 2/2. Kalidas is good, but it's just going to get marched. And TJ can literally just pay 5 mana to get it. I think he can Field of Ruin and cast March here. Right? Yeah, he can.
Got 2 follows. Thanks for the follows. Ali and G fell.
Felipolonos. I butchered that name so hard. I'm very sorry. Cast Soren. That's going to get instantly Dovin's vetoed. That is the 4th counterspell. Right. 4.
Yeah. I was just reading the chat. Sorry. Yeah, I can see, like, I think.
Is TJ just going to cycle a Sharknator right here? So does Kalidas trigger off just your opponent's creatures?
I did not believe so.
I think it's your own.
I think it's both. Yeah, I can see why this is where people believe that Control gets kind of boring, because this is the spot where it's like, Control's kind of got this game locked out.
Yeah, Bobo should be scooping and going to the next game.
Yeah. And this is where, like, you got to have that mentality. Well, I still got to win games 2 and 3. So I need to pick them up. Like, now TJ's going to, like, actively kill him. But you'll see sometimes where blue-white players will just take disadvantage and whittle it down. So worst case scenario, it becomes a 1/1.
Yeah, and he's just going to swing 7, dude.
But
And
find out my
says,
boy
"I'm gonna
TJ, he does
march
not care.
The Kalidas. So
He's
Kalidas is
getting
gone.
exiled. Oh, he's hit for 6, goes down
That's
to 16
7.
or
That's
7. Oh yeah, because of the.
Yep.
I'm sure. Yep.
It's Bobo with no cards in hand. Draws another land. That is a tapped land.
So he's
TJ's
down
gonna
to
get it.
15.
TJ going to flash in an Emperor on the end step.
I want you to know.
He's flashing back deluge.
I want you to know that he also 5-0'd a league yesterday
Yeah, I know.
with blue white.
Well,
Just
in
the ball.
modern. In
and,
modern.
and just screaming though the whole time.
Yeah.
Every time his opponent casts a spell, he go.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh man. So chat. This is now all for the prediction. How many more counter spells do you think you'll get out?
I hope none. He's sitting right where he needs to be for 4.
Yeah.
He better not cast another damn counterspell. Bobo, I swear. So TJ actually has lethal for next turn because he can just flash in the Emperor and put a counter on something.
Oh, is this gonna be it?
No, he doesn't have one in hand, I don't think. So he has Field Rune. He's just going to field the... Yeah. Does TJ
Also,
have a
Big
bind?
Teferi's gonna ult.
Yeah, no, this game's literally over.
I really hope he alt-picked Fairy and just starts exiling everything.
Do you think he does, dude? I bet he would.
Oh, no, he's just going to kill him.
Yeah, he's going to flash in the Emperor.
All right.
Or, no, he's cycling Shark Typhoon, sorry. That's game.
So, TJ, I even already marked it. TJ's going to get game 1.
Whoa. We got to wait here.
Yeah, I got to wait for the counterspell situation.
How many people were on 3 to 4? %.
So, Bob vocally concedes. Field of Ruin being the answer to the lands is actually...
that was huge. That was a huge draw from TJ.
Because it wasn't like he was spending spells to do it. He was just doing his land drops.
Yeah. Yup.
A
So
card that
he
can
does have a turn one.
sometimes be a menace, but it's going to get portable hold. That's
That makes sense.
Knight of the Ebon Legion. One little trick on that card is that its ability, the way it's worded, it can be activated multiple times.
Can it actually?
Yeah. It can be activated multiple times, so like you always find yourself blocking it. Because if they have like 6 mana available, they just pump it for 4. And then all of a sudden you're getting smacked by a ton.
So, wow, TJ's hand is loaded. He does not have... Dude, in this situation, I think you take Censor. Like, weirdly
yeah,
enough, I think you take Censor.
You take the card draw, actually.
Because he's just going to cycle it. That was what I would take. Like, I don't think you care about anything else as of right now. I wonder if Bobo will see that. He is going to take Censor. That makes sense.
So for TJ, you're not too down bad.
And he's going to fire this up. He's going to swing it into the March. Interesting.
Just
That...
I don't know if it matters, but you might want to make sure that he puts some Mutavault in exile, because that matters.
Yeah, I know. What's TJ?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure if it'll matter, but so I'm trying to make sure the board state stays the same. You got like delve cards. I don't think Bomba.
I don't know. You never like. There's just you never know, dude.
Yeah. So it's better safe to start.
Especially since we don't know his deck. That's a Dusk Legion Zealot. That just draws a card.
And this is another Thoughtseize. TJ did hit a land.
I'm surprised TJ's not just Dovin's vetoing it. He's got 2.
He's thinking about it right now.
Yeah,
actually.
Counterspell number 1, baby. Let's go. Which makes sense to me. And TJ's at 17. Looks like. Sorry, I was not able to upkeep the life totals here.
TJ hitting another land and has a Wandering Emperor in hand, so he's got to feel pretty good about how this game's turning out.
Yeah.
Here comes the Sorin. Wandering Emperor is not going to be able to do much here.
Counterspell number 2.
Veto, smack for 1. That puts TJ down to 16. Another land.
TJ ripping everything, dude. What a king. Bobo's sitting with just 3 cards in hand. And TJ has 3 as well, but he's got another Sorin, and this one's going to resolve. Can we pull up Sorin, actually? I don't know what it does.
So the craziest part is the game's looking very similar to how the other game turned out, because Bobo went Sorin into Sorin, but both got countered, and this time one's actually going to resolve, probably to his surprise.
Wait, he just down-ticked it and drew 2? What? Is that what just happened? Oh, no, that was the
yeah,
the champion of Dusk. I don't know what any of these cards do.
Yeah, chill, then, mate. So Sorin has a -3, which you see. It says you might put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield.
That makes sense.
So he put the one, I'm not even exactly sure its name, but it draws and you lose 1 for every vampire that you control.
Oh, the champion?
Yeah, Dusk.
Champion of the Dusk or something. Champion of Dusk.
Yeah.
That Sorin's really good, though.
Yeah, Sorin's pretty good. There's Verdict in hand for TJ.
Is the champion a 4/4 too?
It's a 3/4. I think.
Well, I mean, we're pulling the card up right now. So
It's like Champion of Dust. So this is the card that Bomba put into play off his Sorin. Enters battlefield, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of vampires you control. So
that is a
4/4.
good
I thought
card.
it was a 3/4, but it being a 4/4 actually matters.
So he is just gonna Verdict. which makes sense.
He's gonna make another 2/2 to deal with Soren next turn.
So if Baba has like a dummy vampire you can kind of drop here. He can just bolt the 2/2. Go blank. Ooh, there goes TJ's 2 cards in hand. And then the graveyards are gone. Is it just target player's graveyard?
I believe so.
Do you lose 2 life when you do that?
Nope.
It's just target player.
Just 3 mana, they discard 2, and you exile their graveyard.
Yes, sir, I guess. So if he has a vampire here that he can like plus with Soren, that's pretty big. And then we get to uptick Soren, put a counter on it. Right, because Knight is a vampire, right?
Actually, I don't know.
Oh no, he's sacking it to bolt the Emperor. What is... Interesting.
It is a Vampire Knight, yes. It is a 1/2.
I wonder why Bobo didn't plus on it. Because it would just be a 2/3 and be able to eat the vampire, or the Knight.
Yo, I didn't even ask, real quick. Side note. What'd you get from Chinese? General Tso's chicken?
Seems like a pretty popular one that
Sweet
people
and
get.
sour chicken? Something chicken? My dad always got the pepper steak and onion. Pork fried rice and sesame chicken. Comes with an egg roll too. Oh man. God, I hope you're not hungry because I am now. Taryn on the side takes down the matchup we were watching.
Yeah, he
Taryn
took it down.
Took it down 2-0.
Dang, dude. I feel like, yeah, that's pretty good. Feel to ruin the Hive of the Eye Tyrant.
Depending on the turn, Bo could have pumped the Knight.
Murderous Rider.
So for 3 mana.
And then Bobo gets to go search. This is a very, very interesting game. Both players are empty-handed and are playing off top.
This is one of the games
This is where
that
Blue
Control
White lose.
doesn't want to play / does want to play sometimes.
If TJ like can top a memory deluge, he's fine.
Or a Big Fairy.
Or Big Fair. He has a lot of or a Wandering Emperor, I believe, is what I just saw.
That's what I'm saying. So
gonna
Control's
activate
gotten a lot
Lockthorn.
better
It's gonna lose a
recently
life.
at being able to play off the top. Because you do have so many cards, especially in this format, like where Dig is an option for you. If you
Oh,
want it
he's
to
going to
be.
duress him. So he's just going to say, flash this in.
Duress me, sir.
I feel like Bobo... Is that a Fatal Push in his hand? I feel like he just cast a Murderous Rider and said, yeah.
That is what happens. He makes a 1/1 or 2/2. It gets pushed.
So I feel like we should have waited till TJ's turn to do that one.
Yeah, because TJ would have plussed up to give it a counter, and then you fatal push it then. Would have made sense. So, but TJ's going to make it 2/2 now, probably.
Yep. So now this is where I would have plussed.
A land and no utility lands in for TJ, like Castle Fantress.
Or Hall of the Storm Giants.
Or Hall.
So I think Bobo top decked a Thoughtseize is what I believe I see.
Not necessarily great against an instant speed deck that will have enough mana to cast any spell.
So he's going to activate Castle Lockthwain. No? Yeah. He's going to lose 2 life, go to 15. He's going to swing at the Wandering Emperor, I would hope. That is what's going to happen.
Lets it go. He'll gain 2 life.
Yep, back up to 17. And then he casts Gifted Aetherborn. That is a pretty good one.
And
That's a center cycle. That makes sense. Draws an Absorb. It's not awful, but it's not really that good either.
I mean, it's enough to kind of negate the damage a little bit here. And
Yeah. It's just, he's going to Thoughtseize it. TJ's just going to absorb it to gain the life, I believe. Yep. So TJ's going to go up to 19.
so not necessarily the worst draw, but not the best draw. And that puts the counter spell pick up 1 for the prediction.
So Bobo's just going to keep activating this castle. Huge utility lands here, by the way. This is like actually just winning Bobo the game here. like just being able to draw a card consistently every turn off a land. And he's gonna swing at TJ for 4. He's gonna go back up to 20. And TJ's gonna go down to 15. TJ cannot draw anything good. I believe that was an Odawara. He's gonna say get in for 2.
War is at least reasonable, right?
Yeah, you can bounce the Aetherborn to hand.
Also make them take more damage whenever they draw off the castle.
That is true. You can do that, but he's got life linkers right now. He's just gonna say, I'm gonna go blank you. So I believe you just do it now, right? Yeah, Odawara bounce something. So bounce this one. TJ's graveyard gets exiled. Dusk Legion Zealot, that draws a card. I believe we just swing in for 2 here. Got another draw off the top? Oh yeah, the Gifted Aetherborn, duh. I'm so silly.
Sad day in the hood.
Fatal Push. Swing in
Don't
the
mess
team
up
for
my timer.
5.
Oh, I think he's okay. I was.
We are going to concede that one. So Go Blank and the Castle Lock going coming in clutch for TJ or for Bobo last game.
I'm just gonna cancel it because only 2 people did it. So, all right. I'm not doing a prediction this time.
Not doing one.
Nope.
Okay. So turn 1 play off Knight of the Ebon Legion.
We're a little too far already, I think.
Yeah.
Night, swing, 1, 19, 20. And
Bobo will cast another one. So those can buff each other actually. Like when it's like if a certain amount of damage is dealt, they get a
it's
counter, right?
3, I believe.
Yeah, which is, and is it 3 to pump?
It does enough. Hold on, I'll just pull it up. It's not. It's 3 mana to pump 1. Yes.
Yeah, and it gets like +2/+2 and like lifelink or something. He says I'm gonna pump
+3/+3, and if player lost 4 life.
So
See what I'm saying, dude? The board keeps going all the way back. It's making me mad.
So I believe he said he's gonna pump it. So TJ's gonna go to what 3, 5, so down to 14, yeah. And they both get counters. Does TJ have a verdict in hand? I think I saw one.
Well, we'll have to be careful there. Make sure we keep an eye on that. You kind of put counters on them right away. They do only get the counters at the end step.
Oh, does it say that?
Night of Illusion is at the end step they get the counters, but I would assume he's like go to the end step and he's like, all right, I'm gonna cycle the shard.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised to see him not cycle it beforehand to block.
So TJ actually does not have verdict in hand. So he's gonna block one. I think Bob is just gonna pump the other one here. Because I feel like he's just satisfied with what's on board right now. And
No,
He's
you are
not.
wrong, sir.
interesting. So TJ's gonna go to 12.
But I kind of agree with you a little bit. It's kind of that situation where like
He's just not doing anything on the turn. Interesting. So my thing right here, right, is so against blue-white, if you have like a threat on board, you ride that threat until they deal with it. Like you force them to deal with it. So you like right here, you don't want to keep playing creatures because you don't want to give them a really good verdict.
well, he's like Revelry said, he's holding up murder, man.
Now he has verdict. So now he just gets verdict.
Yeah, and he has a lot of cards in hand. So
I don't know.
interesting to see how he plays this turn out, because I believe if he just goes land verdict, he
Bobo
might
gets.
just have 7 cards in hand.
I don't know. TJ might cast Big to Parry here.
Which
Oh, he's casting nothing. I can't tell what he has in hand.
absorb and a shark typhoon.
Yeah, Shark Foon's not the best here. So turn him sideways, sir. So now you don't even have to pump. Oh, he's going to. So, depending on what face this is, TJ cannot cycle and block here.
And that might have been why we saw no block earlier.
So, TJ's taking 5, 7 this turn. So, he's at 4, 5. Oops, one too many.
Like Omega 3/3.
I'm interested to see why TJ did that one. Because if he verdicts, he gets... I mean, he'll just swing 3 here and probably verdict if I had to guess. Do you top another verdict? So
Well, that
now
makes you a lot more easy. That's a lot easier of a plan to verdict the board.
Yeah, no, that's just kind of like, all right, verdict. But Bobo also probably has a lot of cards in hand. Like, he hasn't played anything except land. He has 5 cards in hand. And TJ is at a very low life total. Yeah, he's going to say, swing 3 first. Bobo will go,
Verdict.
I will take 3. And then those go away. Knight of the Ebon Legion, putting TJ all the way down to 5, dude. Huge. Off just 2 cards.
And now you just have a full grip.
Yeah, you have 5 cards. You have 5 cards in right now. Blue-white is shield down. This is probably where you jam Soren if you have it. Because Soren can bolt a player. Which is huge. And Planeswalker removal is...
Vampire to do that?
Yeah, so it's 3. So he has 6 mana. Soren's 3. Says I'm going to cast this one. So, but also the bad part here is if Bobo overloads the board, he's just dead to another verdict. I can't tell if he has it in hand or not. I personally would have cast.
This makes this Teferi a lot more playable.
Yeah, especially well now he just gets to hold up 5 lands or 3 lands. Sorry, because that's an absorb. I believe he has an absorb in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So the gaining 3 life here very important.
Teferi will get the plus. If he's holding up,
he does have Murderer though. So he says in response, I'm going to get this, and there goes the veto.
Robert, not having a man land this game is actually kind of an issue for him.
So
Whereas
now,
before the last 2 games, we've seen him have a ton of man lands.
yeah,
But none here.
Yeah, none here. So I wonder where Bobo swings this. Oh, that's is it Devout Decree? No, it's not Devout Decree. It's
Noxious Grasp.
Noxious Grasp. Destroy target creature that is what, or destroy target permanent that's green or white or something. You gain a life.
Thought you were Mr. Card Man. You should know.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Standard. I can't.
I murdered it. I don't care.
Noxious. Oh, okay.
I don't care.
I was gonna say I can tell you how to spell it.
Nope, I'm busy.
TJ is
I
at
misspelled
3.
it twice. I'm busy.
Okay. Not happening. Creature, planeswalker, that's white or green, and gain a life. Okay. It says creature, planeswalker. I didn't know if it said like non-land permanent that's green or white. So we're gonna cast a verdict here. Makes sense. Is TJ
Verdict holding up an absorb?
Does he have absorb? That was gonna be my big question. Does he have the absorb?
Yeah, it's 2. And again, Robert throwing a little bit of blood. I think he just let the Stasies go.
I think you do too, because you have 2 absorbs, so you don't really care.
It depends if you want to protect us with his faithful absence.
So if this goes through,
you actually might counter this.
Yeah, I don't know what Bobo takes here, dude. If this goes through, I feel like you don't take absorb.
I think there's 2.
It's weird, but I think you take Big Teferi.
Yeah, because that's just the engine to put cards in TJ's hand to allow him to turn this game around.
So I'm actually surprised TJ didn't cast the absorb to protect it. Yeah, and he is going to take the Teferi, and I believe that is the correct take.
The idea is like, do you cast an absorb and then get Thoughtseize anyway?
Yeah, so is he going to absorb this? This is a 1-mana draw card, and TJ says, nope, don't care. And now Bobo knows to play around these counter spells and stuff.
But it's one of the situations you just might not be able to.
Yeah, I think you just keep jamming through it. So I'm imagining TJ's going to counterspell this one.
Other thing is, this could be a go blank in hand.
If it's a go blank in hand, that'd be huge. That'd actually be enormously huge. But it is not. Because that would put TJ on top deck mode.
Well, he has a haul to defend himself.
Does he have a haul up? He does have a haul up. So I wonder if Bobo sees that. Does TJ have Delusion in the graveyard too?
Noxious Grasp.
He does have Delusion there.
Yeah, I misspelled it too many times, so I wasn't trying to. 4 mana. Take 2.
Again, these lands are going to be clutch. Says swing 1, TJ's going to go to 5.
Scrying.
No, he's going to cast a Deluge.
Or Deluging.
Makes more sense. TJ just gets to
Deluge.
find some answers here. So Big
Big
Teferi's,
Teferi?
yeah, probably Big Teferi and Portable Hole, right?
He's gonna grab a veto. You might not care about this one.
It'll get there eventually. But he also just has Hall.
I mean,
he
sort
can't
of.
cast Teferi and hold Hall up, I don't think. No, he cannot.
You kind of
Well, if he plays a land here, he actually can.
you kind of have to like give up certain things when you're playing blue white and getting hit by this.
Yeah, no, he doesn't care about the 1/1 as of like this turn right now.
Because what do you actually die to? This
Well,
one
I just-
or a Thorin that bolt you?
Well, he already had one in hand. That was my thing.
No, you just drew the other one. I think.
Oh, did he? I thought he
I
already
think
had
he
it.
literally put one in hand and then top decked another one. He was wanting to have 2 counter spells up, I believe.
So he says activate the other one, lose 3 life. These lands drawing mono black a lot of cards. Bobo has flooded just about every game. He has
you got
consistently
creature
made
lands
land
now.
drop. He says, fire this up. And this is where I think taking the hole would have been better. Because now you're just sitting awkwardly with Dovin's veto.
Oh, you can't do whole instant speed to get rid of this 2/2.
But it would have got the 1/1. Because now he's at lethal next turn if he gets this land. Or if he...
Technically, it was that lethal either way.
No, because
Because he gets hit by the land, goes to 3, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
he
I guess
activates the second one.
Well, I did. I'll say we... Oh, yeah. But we do have... Oh, Field of Ruin. We do have Field of Ruin. That is pretty big. And he's going to take 1, go to 4. Bobo still has 3 cards in hand. TJ has quite a few, though. He has land, 3 counterspells, and an Odawara as backup, and a Big Teferi on board. I'm pretty confident that TJ has this game locked.
No.
It's
Do it
weird. It's
for-
weird. Bobo has a lot of cards in hand, and
Well,
he has
also
he
creature
has a
land.
creature land, and he has a Dusk Legion Zealot out there. Like the 1/1 is kind of mattering right now. Just like not
A card
a
we
bunch.
forgot about has a Faithful Absence.
He does have a removal spell, but so he can get the land again. But Bobo's gonna have to start drawing this absorb out at some point. And TJ's just so ahead on cards right now. It's crazy. The Wandering Emperor, what a draw. Ooh, he plays the Odawara.
Yeah, you don't need it now.
Probably not. Honestly, dude, I would have beat him with all.
I see. This is the difference between you and TJ.
Dude, put my opponent to 4. He would have had veto up to the only thing that could kill him, which is
I don't think he cares.
to the whatever. Because you
You
get
can
to
also
untap
just do
them.
it with the Wandering Emperor and then protect it.
So this is actually huge because this is a life gain thing.
No, it's 2/2.
Oh, that's right, because you get to just block that thing.
He can put Bobo to 1 if he wants.
Yeah.
Because these have Vigilance. Which is not really a reason to put Bobo to 1. It's not a whole lot
TJ
different
builds
than
up
2.
I thought TJ did that on his turn to block it. He did not. He did this on his main phase.
I think he said, swing my 2/2. Asking how many cards are in hand.
He's gonna fatal push it.
He says, sure, fail push gets it. He's going to portable hole his threat.
Go to untap, get this one.
No activation from the Emperor.
And no, he did that on. He played that on his turn.
He played Emperor on his turn?
I believe so. I don't know. No,
There's no way he played it on his turn. I just don't think he activated it.
Well, we're. Dude, he has 3 Dovin's vetoes in hand. He's gonna absorb that one though.
So you might as well take one of these, just gain 3, go up. Puts me
And
out of
well, it
sword
also
range.
doesn't let him draw a card. Because it's just a 1/1 that replaces itself, and with such a low life total, it's kind of mattering.
Well, so the idea is you could have potentially let it go. Like, he's able to remove 1. Robert's down to 10, because he's technically paying him to draw a card.
Oh, does it? Okay, I did not realize that. He is going to fire this up. Does TJ still have that faithful? He does. I
So he
feel like
has
you've
a
done this
hall.
at
Can
the
he defend
Emperor.
the hall?
He says send this one at Emperor. I think I agree with that, weirdly enough. TJ says okay. And Bobo says pass. So weirdly enough, Faithful Absence is an interesting card right now because it lets another Emperor on top But sorry, Faithful Absence gives Bobo a clue that lets him draw. But also, Bobo's never resolving Sorin. Like, ever. TJ has 3 vetoes in hand.
And the March.
And a March, and Teferi is ulting next turn.
It's ulting. We got a Censor. We have a Hall if we
Oh,
want
interesting.
to.
We're censoring now. I don't know. TJ, honestly, he knows what
Max information is what it's for. Whether you want to crew up his Hall and hit him or not. Says, nah, I'm good. I got a big Teferi about to ult. I don't care.
Yeah. I think this one's probably just over, right? Oh no, dude, Teferi's got he's got to draw a lot of cards.
Land?
So I actually did see Bobo's last card.
Get vetoed.
He does have a push in hand, but again, it is not resolving. We have 2 more vetoes and an absorb. It says do this one. So now I think this is it, because can he fire up Hall and hold veto up? 2, 4. I can't see. 6, 8, 9. Yeah, he can.
They're all at Teferi.
Oh,
One's gonna get marched.
for 0 manas. That makes sense. And then I think we fire Hall, right?
Hall and defend.
5, 6, and this is actually weird because Hall can go to block and then.
And we still have veto up.
Yep. But he's gonna push. I wonder if this is before blocks. I would assume it would be.
Push might let it happen and Faithful Absent his Legion.
He could do that though. He could
So
do
he could
that.
ult his Teferi.
I feel like that's most likely the play here.
So floats a mana. I think that's what we're going to see. So he's going to Faithful Absent, kill that, give Robert a clue, so he can technically draw a card if he wants.
Says, wait, deactivate castle or the clue? I think it was the clue.
It was a clue.
Yeah.
It says pass.
So
Barry's going to ult.
I wonder if he pluses it. Honestly, I think he's probably going to plus it one more time. He's just not in any danger.
That's true too. There a memory delusion in the Ben? Do we know? I don't believe so.
He's going to go blank. This is just going to get Dovin's vetoed. Plays a tap land. This would be the lock. TJ has gotten through it.
Well, you got enough land so you can stick around, I think.
Activating lock point to draw a card. He activated lock point. Plays another land. So this is actually weird. Bobo might be able to get to time here. So
I will say, watching this, blue players been playing quicker.
Oh wait, no, he just has Hall of the Storm Giants, dude. What am I talking about?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, Trey got pushed.
lost
Let it
into
get
a push.
push.
But he has a Wandering Emperor, so
I don't. Bobo's putting himself pretty low here. He drew another card. He's at 7.
he's got to. You have its Fairy ult.
Got another land, dude. Well,
You're gonna lose two. You're gonna lose 2 cards a turn, and then he's also gonna play an Emperor with 3 counterspell backups.
so let's fire this one up.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, this is just
Go to ruin,
that
gone.
makes sense. I cannot believe Bobo still has lands. He's gonna have 13 lands now. That's a lot for an aggro deck.
My personal opinion, if anybody would get timed out in MTGO rules, probably be our boy Robert.
Just a little bit.
Based on pace of play. Absorb.
Instant absorb. So TJ down to 2 cards in hand. 3, sorry.
Wandering Emperor's gonna come in.
Yeah, no, this is pretty good, but
Make it 2/2.
TJ is going to be turned 0. I believe he has enough time though to get it. Bricker going out to let players know that he is on time. Says get him for 2. He is going to 5. Makes another one. So lethal will be able to be within TJ's grasp because he has 2 turns unless Bobo's got something, but I don't think it matters because he just has the counterspell if it has any form of removal. Top deck's a thing, but that's just going to get absorbed. That is game over because he can plus the Wandering Emperor to buff one of his things to swing 5. So blue-white will get this one. He says, I will concede.